Welcome to Marketing in the Age of AI, the show for leaders who want real results, not more noise. Join Emanuel Rose as he helps business builders turn AI from a confusing add-on into a practical advantage with clearer messaging, stronger trust, and smarter systems. If you felt the shift happening in real time, you're not imagining it. In the agentic pivot, Emanuel calls it the move from experimenting with AI to building with it, so it supports your team, your brand, and your growth. Let's get into it.
Two out of three people in commercial real estate are using AI every week. Only 1 in 20 trust it enough to make a real call on a deal. Sit with that for a second. 66% are using it, 5% trust it. That gap is the whole story today. It is where the money is, it is where the fear is, and it is where the opportunity is for anyone willing to close it. Well, you think about all the different projects that AI can support and help with. For me, in the marketing world, the production of proposals, scopes of work, action plans, brand books has become much easier. I've built custom projects and custom GPTs, and even some software that we use internally at strategic e-marketing to create the ease of use for production of all these documents that are on brand, on the scope, and also high enough quality that we just do a little bit of review and then get them into action. Welcome to Marketing in the Age of AI. I'm Emanuel Rose, and thanks for spending some time with me today. I'm going to be talking about AI for commercial real estate. And I know you're a marketer, not a CRE broker, but stay with me. This is one of the biggest and slowest and most human heavy industries there is. And it's being reshaped by AI right now. The lessons carry into whatever you are marketing. Here's why I picked it. Real estate is a trust business. People sign leases and buy buildings based on relationships, judgment, and a walkthrough of space. That's your world too. So when an industry built on human trust starts folding in AI, the way it does it, the way it gets it wrong, tells you exactly how to do it correctly in your world. So here's where we're headed today. The news and why AI tenants are quietly saving the office market, my hot take on the data center boom, reviewing the companies winning and the ones getting exposed, and a real workflow you can copy this week to get a few hours back. Let's get into it. News and developments. Start with the office market because the story flipped. 4 years ago, everybody wrote off office. Empty towers, work from home, the end of the city. Then AI companies started signing leases like it was a land grab. According to JLL, AI firms leased 415,000 square feet in Manhattan in the first quarter of this year alone. That's about half of everything that they took in all of last year, done in just 3 months. And they're not taking small suites anymore. The average deal size jumped to 34,000 square feet, up from about 16,000 square feet earlier in the year. One AI cloud firm in scale set a record for the highest office rent in New York, $320 per square foot at One Vanderbilt. On July 8th, CNBC reported Manhattan office leasing is having its strongest run in 20 years. Now follow the power. Data centers are the other half of this. CBRE reported its first quarter revenue of $10.5 billion, up about 19%. Their critical infrastructure business, which includes data centers, was up 71%. Core earnings per share up 81%. This is the largest commercial real estate firm on earth, and its fastest growing arm is building the physical home for AI. Then Cushman and Wakefield put a number on the whole thing. They project that AI adds 330 million square feet of net new real estate demand in the US over the next decade. And here's the part that some people miss: the biggest chunk isn't office, it's industrial. Almost 300 million square feet of that is warehouse and logistics. So AI isn't just cutting jobs in real estate, it's creating buildings. Sit with that. The same tool everyone's afraid will shrink the industry is the single biggest reason it's growing. That's the tension I want you to hold during this episode. One more, because it matters for anyone selling into this space. The biggest owners are starting to build with their own AI. In May, Anthropic teamed up with Blackstone, Goldman Sachs, and Hellman and Freeman on a venture worth about 1.5 billion to deploy custom AI within the companies they own. Brookfield put money behind OpenAI's enterprise push. When your biggest customer decides to build instead of buy, that changes your pitch, and I'll come back to what to do about it. Hot take of the week. Here is my hot take. The real risk in the data center gold rush is not weak demand, it's stranded assets and angry, NIMBY neighbors. Everybody's staring at the demand curve. Nobody is staring at the permit line. Look at the numbers. Data Center Watch found that in the first quarter of this year, opponents blocked or delayed at least 75 projects worth about $130 billion. That's roughly all of last year's blocked projects packed into 3 months. Opposition groups more than doubled across 49 states. More than 300 data center bills got filed in the first 6 weeks of the year. And a Gallup poll found that 71% of Americans don't want one built near them. So when a broker or developer waves a signed AI tenant at you, that's the easy part. The hard part is the power and permitting and town hall meetings where the neighbors show up worried about their water and their power bill. If you're underwriting anything in this space, underwrite the resistance. The demand is real, the welcome mat is not. And honestly, that's a good lesson for any hot market. When everyone's counting the upside, the edges go to the person counting on what could stop it. Here are the key companies and tools in CRE. So who's actually winning here? Let's start with the incumbents because they're not sitting still. CBRE built its own platform called Ellis AI. It's a generative AI system with role-specific assistants that read documents and run workflows on CBRE's own data. That last part is the point. Their data is the moat. Anybody can rent a model. Not everybody has decades of proprietary deal data to point it at. VTS runs the biggest leasing platform in the country, more than 13 billion square feet on it. On April 1st, they launched Asset Intelligence. It reads a lease instantly with AI, and then a human lease expert checks every abstraction before anybody trusts it. Instant AI, human verify. Remember that pattern because we'll come back to it, and that's the whole ball game. CoStar, the data giant, bought Matterport, the 3D digital twin company, for about $1.6 billion. Now they're putting Gen AI on top of the largest property data set in the business. Then the challengers. Cambio is a San Francisco startup founded by two women who came out of institutional real estate. Their software reasons over thousands of pages of messy building data and returns capital and compliance answers in minutes. They're already across 35 countries and 2 billion square feet. And Elise AI, this one's the standout. 28 of the top 30 multifamily operators in the country use it to automate up to 90% of their leasing, maintenance, and rent collection work. Who's exposed? The plain prop tech vendor within a thin app and no data. If your only value is a nice interface and your biggest customer is building their own AI, you're in trouble. If you own the data, you're fine. That's the whole map. Data and trust win. A pretty front end does not. Follow the money. Follow the money, and the same story shows up. Elise AI raised $250 million last August, led by Andreessen Horowitz and Bessemer, Sapphire, and Navitas in that round. That doubled their valuation to more than $2.2 billion. They'd already crossed $100 million in ARR and grown from about 150 people to over 300 people. When A16 writes that check, they're betting this category lasts. Cambio, the last startup I mentioned, raised $18 million in January at a $100 million valuation, led by Maverick Ventures. Y Combinator was in on it. So were angels from OpenAI and Anthropic. The people who are building the models are personally betting on the ones aiming them at real estate. And the consolidation has started. In June, a legal AI company called Legora bought Catastral. Catastral builds AI agents for real estate, legal, and other deal work. Founded in 2024, more than 50 clients already, including JLL, Avalon Bay, and Empire State Realty Trust. Revenue growing about 40% a month. That was Legora's fourth acquisition this year. Here's what that tells you. The land grab phase is ending. The buying phase is starting. The tools that own real data and real customers are getting scooped up. The rest are getting left behind. If you're building anything in a hot category, that's your warning and your roadmap. Own something real or get bought for parts. Some case studies worth knowing. Let's get concrete. What are the real results? First, CBRE and predictive maintenance. Their smart FM platform runs across more than 20,000 sites and 1 billion square feet. CBR reports it cuts maintenance costs and energy use by as much as 20% and reduces technician dispatches by an average of 25%. Think about that last one. 25% fewer trucks rolling out. That's fuel, time, and labor saved by moving a few things after they break to fixing them to before. Second, Elise AI on the operations side, automating up to 90% of leasing, maintenance, and rent collection for most of the biggest operators in the country. That's not replacing the leasing agent. That's replacing the 200th identical email so the leasing agent can actually talk to a human being who's deciding where to live. Third, retail tenant underwriting. The REIT Kimco Realty and Nuveen Real Estate backed a company called Bondside, and it adopted its scorecard. It judges the creditworthiness of small shop tenants by reading their accounting data directly, four-wall profit, cost of goods, labor ratios, and 20 other measures. For decades, that call was made on a gut feel. Now there is a standard. Notice the through line. None of these replaced the human. They took the rote, mundane task off the human's plate so the person could spend that time on the work that only a person can do. Here's the workflow to take with you this week. It's how the sharp underwriters are working right now, and you can copy it this week, even if you never touch a building. The team at Adventures and CRE lays it out in 3 phases. Phase 1, AI up front, deal screening, market research, document review, first pass lease abstraction. What used to take days takes hours. They report AI pulls the key terms out of a lease in 2 to 3 minutes. By hand, that's usually 45 to 90 minutes. Phase 2, and this is the discipline part. You do not let the AI do the math. You build the actual financial model on a spreadsheet, formula by formula, so that every number is auditable, and you can defend it. Phase 3, AI on the back end. Now you hand the finished model back to the AI as a second set of eyes. Ask it to hunt for errors, unrealistic assumptions, missing variables. AI on the front, human judgment in the middle, AI checking the back. The reported result is underwriting that drops from 2 or 3 weeks to 3 to 5 days. Same rigor, a fraction of the time. And here's the translation for the rest of us not in CRE. Whatever you're building, a campaign, a proposal, or report, let AI gather and draft. Keep the judgment human. Then let AI check your work. That order is the whole game. Let's bring it home. 66% are using AI, only 5% trust it. The winners in commercial real estate aren't the ones moving the fastest. They're the ones building the human check in every step. So the speed is actually worth something. That's true in your business too. AI drafts, human decides, AI verifies. Take that pattern into one task this week and watch what happens to your hours. If your team is trying to make this stick, the hard part isn't the AI, it's writing down how you actually work so a machine or a new hire can follow it. That's what strategicsop.com does. It helps operations leaders and growing teams document and systematize their workflows so the process lives in the system, not in one person's head. So take a look at strategicsop.com, strategicsop.com. Well, I hope you got some real value out of today. If you did, please refer a colleague or a friend who's trying to figure out AI to the show. And send me your questions on LinkedIn. I read all of them, and the best ones become listers' questions eventually. Thanks for spending time with me today. Go and do something with AI today.
Thanks for listening to Marketing in the Age of AI. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. Your copy of Authentic Marketing in the Age of AI is available at Amazon.com or EmanuelRose.com. You can also connect with Emanuel on LinkedIn. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you